34 minutes.
Yeah.
Good day of work.
Yeah.
Plan on going that long?
I don't know. I wanted to hoop. You know, one of the guys on their bench asked me in the fourth quarter. He said, "Why are you in? Why are you playing?" I said, "It's a long summer when you don't make the playoffs. Like, what else I got to do?" You know. Yep.
Has it soaked in yet? L82 at age 39?
No, it's wild. Yeah, and for Jew to do it and Harrison, you know, I just want them guys also to know. I mean, obviously I'm self-motivated, but it's always nice to have other people beside you, you know, pushing you. And it's crazy. I didn't even realize Steph played 81, you know. And, it's been an unbelievable season.
I know you play to win the game, like the saying goes.
Right.
But, in the closing minute of game 82, in a game that does not matter, do you care that much where you're upset at like Scotty Barnes and the ref? Like, is that genuine?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I always say I hate to lose more than I like to win, you know, and if it's a game, we show up, what we gonna do? You know what I mean? So the first time the little flop or whatever, then he did it again, and Billy's out there and he's like, "My bad." Well, just call it. Or what the hell we here for then? You know what I mean? Like, seriously, we showed up. Let's play. Let's hoop. And I think that's what our team even talked about. That's what Mitch said at halftime. You know, like, you got to realize you're always being evaluated, you know, and how you do anything is how you do everything. So whether you're in or out, it's just about being competitive and wanting to win. So
We were saying at the end there that, you know, there's 15 games in the league today, and probably the 5 guys that you had on the court at the end were the most accomplished 5 that any team in a game that did not matter today had out there. Why did the Spurs have 5 guys, rotation players, future Hall of Famers? Where did that come from?
Competition. You know, competition. I get it, you know, the standings, all this different type stuff, but when you're a kid and you thinking about hooping and trying to make it to the NBA, you want to play. You want to play, and I've said this all year long. I've had 5 hand surgeries, meniscus surgeries, all this. So I've sat over there with the inability to play, you know, and so you never know when it may be your last game or your last opportunity to play. And when you hoop during the summer, I mean, I'm gonna go home and work out with my son and probably hoop some my AAU team, but it's just different, you know, playing on that stage in front of all the fans against other NBA players. Just try not to take it for granted.
Having spent the whole season here, what are your thoughts on what they're building in San Antonio and the next steps this team can take?
Man, it's unbelievable. Like I said, the fans, so many familiar faces that I got a chance to see. Some of these courtside fans, you know, been on me, you know, for times over my career, but it's been so good to get to know people on a different basis. You know, the fans here are unbelievable. For the first 19 years, the only thing I knew about San Antonio was the Riverwalk, you know, and I might not have went down there one time since I lived here, you know, so I got a chance to see more of the city, more of the people, the facility, the staff, the coaches. RC is one of one, you know, and I really got a chance to see why the Spurs have been the Spurs for so long.
Do you feel good about the future of this team when everybody's healthy and back? And
Absolutely, absolutely. You got competitive guys, obviously starting with Vic, and then you got Fox, you got Harrison, and the young guys. You know, I think they're sponges. You know, they're gonna keep learning, and I think my biggest advice to Steph just now was I told him to go see a playoff game, go see a couple of them. My first 2 years in the league, I was at I went to the Miami Heat Dallas series. That was when D Wade then won the championship, and then I was actually at Game 4 in the finals when the Spurs swept the Cavs. I was at that game, so it's different. And that's why I told him it's not the same as watching it on TV. I said, go watch a couple playoff games if you can and just see the intensity And I remember my second year in the league, after watching that, I was like, oh yeah, I don't want to watch this no more. I want to play. And so that's probably my advice to the guys.
Chris, what does it feel like emotionally for you to still be competing out here at a high level, even today at the age of 39, when you've seen so many of your peers have already retired?
The word I use all the time is gratitude. You know, fortunately for most of my career, I've been in the playoffs and, you know, haven't played in but so many like non-meaningful games or whatnot. So I think towards the end of the season, it was just the mental part. You know, so having other guys showing up every day and making sure you doing the work and taking those shortcuts, I feel good about it. I feel good about my experience here, and as mad as I am about, you know, not being in the playoffs, I'm excited to see my family.
You had said on Instagram yesterday, I think, the grass is greener where you water it.
Yeah.
And keep stacking days, can't give up now. Is that in regards to your basketball career?
No, I mean, that's just life, you know, more so life, you know, and just trying to make sure you keep stacking days.
You look at like somebody like LeBron, who is 40, he's still performing at a high level. Have you had any type of conversations with him as far as like longevity in the NBA, staying healthy, relevant, and still impactful in the league?
No, I haven't. But I've been on sort of my own personal journey for a while. I know a number of guys that have played and went on, you know what I mean? So it's the formula is sort of the formula. You know, it's seriously like you got to keep stacking days, keep sacrificing, and the work will show up.
Do you have appreciation for the job that Mitch did, just kind of being thrust into a career?
1,000%. This year was a roller coaster, right? We got dealt a few blows as far as obviously the news with Pop earlier in the season, then with Vic, but Mitch did a great job of managing the situation and coaching and teaching, and I can't imagine how tough it's been for him and all of our staff.
How do you plan to tackle free agency? Is it find somebody who'll let you hoop? Is that first and foremost?
First and foremost, man, I have no clue. I have no clue. Probably first and foremost, front of my mind right now is to get out there and see my family.
Would your experience with the Spurs culture perhaps entice you to play one more year if you decided you wanted to play one more year in the league? Man,
you can phrase them questions any way you want them to. I'm going to tell you, it's been unbelievable here, and I mean it. I mean it, seriously. It's been unbelievable, and I think this summer I'll make that decision with my family.
I'll try to phrase it a different way, but not in terms of whether if this was it, Chris. If this was it, just leaving the NBA stage in this way with the Spurs, a game like that, just what your career has meant to you. If this was it,
it's meant a lot. It's meant a lot, but for me, I'm still in it. Like, I'm still too in it to even reflect on all of that. You know what I mean? I just. My parents came into the game today, my wife and my daughter. My son had AAU practice or whatnot. So right now I'm just thinking about the summer. This is going to be a long summer. You know what I mean? So I'll reflect on all that when it's time.
Chris, I've been asking all of the guys if they had like a Chris Paul moment or story from the season, and all of them sort of talked about more just generally being around you, your competitiveness, your intelligence for the game, the consistency. Do you think about or understand or feel that your role as, Chris Paul, the veteran, to, now 20 years of guys who've come through the league, do you think about your place in the game for those young guys?
Not a lot of times. I tell you, I just, it's hard because the league has changed. The way you talk and communicate to guys, and it's just a little different. And there's times where I be like, I ain't saying nothing. Then there's times where I be like, look, I think I played long enough to where I've gotten many a text from teammates 2-3 years after we were teammates, and they be like, man, thank you for how hard you were on me or what you taught me. So for the guys, I try not to be too abrasive or whatnot, but I know I know what a privilege it is to be in this league, right? And so it's tough at times when I see guys who take it for granted, right? So I'm just always constantly talking to them about watching and learning and understanding all the details of the game. So not with so much, just I just want everyone to be able to play as long as they want to and enjoy it. The NBA is crazy. You get to play basketball every day and say that's your way of life. You know, so I just try to pass that on to my teammates. All right, appreciate you. Thank you.